I'm Will Flanagan from Frontier Developments, and you're listening to the Loose Screws podcast. Remember, always keep your fuel tanks full and your O7s poised.
Hey guys, and yes, I did the Hey Guys this week tracks. It is May 28th, 2020. This is Loose Screws. I am Ty Worsham, and with me this evening is the one and only speaker bot and audio engineer, JN Tracks. How's it going this evening, buddy?
Oh, it goes. Podcast number 2 tonight. So I'm sorry I made you guys be late, but party time.
Oh, I was going to ask you, is that, are we at 2 beers tracks yet?
JN, 2 beer tracky, old Traxy 2 beer. No, man, this is actually beer. No, beer number 1. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not quite a cheap enough date for 2 beers to really sink me anyway, but that's all right. That's all right.
All right. Also with this is our, lowly but humble community manager, Commander Chig. How's it going this evening, bud?
I'm lonely and humble, or homely and bumbling?
I make this shit up on the fly every week. So.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. Things are going good. I'm flying a spaceship. Well, actually, I'm sitting in a space station, so I guess I'm lying. I'm in game. So, all right. Hi.
Also with us this evening is our, we haven't had him on the show yet, but
it's my maiden flight.
I know it's your maiden flight. There you go.
Hit him with the champagne.
Oh, Jesus. Don't hit.
Smash it.
He is our squadron commander, NL Hate. How's it going this evening, bud?
It's going real good.
You are a dirty Xboxer. So
yes, I am.
Dirty Xboxer. So. Anyway, got a little announcement real quick. So this episode is airing on, or should be airing right around May 28th. On May 29th, our brother podcast, Kaizen, over at Elite Week, is having a fairly big announcement tomorrow. So please go check him out. I think you can find him on Anchor. I think that you can find him on YouTube underneath Elite Week. But the announcement,
wherever podcasts are housed,
right? I know he's got his podcast all over the same stuff that we do. Was it iPodcast for the iPhone and Google Podcast or whatever the hell they're calling it now? But definitely check him out. This announcement's pretty cool. This goes back to a phone call me and him shared back, I believe, in January of an idea that we had, and he is really bringing it to fruition. So kudos to him, and can't wait to see where we go with it from there. So very excited about it. So moving on. Hate. Let's talk about the squadron. How are things going on that?
I set myself up some very unobtainable goals, and I'm a little let down in myself, but the team's really pulling through, and we are meeting my secondary goals with realistic timelines as we're supposed to.
Oh, you're being hard on yourself,
I was
man.
expecting to expand every like 2 weeks, and it has not gone that well.
Oh.
Well, let me just say, we took over. Well, I think we lost him for a second there. I hope that don't keep happening where you have to leave and rejoin, but
it's a RAM issue.
I got you. Let me just say, like we joined, or we got in the game, and then I believe within a month we had a war, and then we won that war handily in 4 days.
Yeah.
And man, you have been really good for us organizing people. And you're just on the Xbox. You're communicating with people on PS4. On PS4 with Devo Looter. He's our squad commander over on PS4, and working with people on the PC side. Do you have like some lieutenants that you got kind of set up that you hand out orders to? You wanna shout out to real quick?
I mostly lean on whoever's active in the Discord. So I see a lot of like Roy Cookson, and I see less of DeVolter, but I do see a presence from the PlayStation community. And I also see Pepper Grinder. I'll see him in the port regularly on Xbox. He just beat me for most influence in the squad.
A lot of people are participating now. It's impressive. You've done a heck of a job with this, and I mean, I like, who was it? Was it Pepper Grinder who was trying to pass you in the
Yes.
influence and finally did it?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice work, Pepper.
Yeah, it's actually like the channel that has kind of the most chatter sometimes. When I wake up in the morning, like the overnight when the UK folk have gone on, and all that stuff. When I come back to Discord when I've been away for a while, that's at least in the top 2 channels that's going on is people talking about faction stuff. So apparently this is a pretty big thing. I think it's been going well.
I agree. Yeah, you have like, correct me if I'm wrong, you've only been playing the game about 6-8 months, right?
December 29th was my first day.
Oh,
2.
So yeah, okay, so about 5 months then. Okay, so you've really kind of wrangled this, made it your own, and exactly what I wanted to have happen with this in-game squadron. You've made it happen, and I can't thank you enough, because it's one of those things where, I don't have to touch it. I love it, and it's being successful. So, so you're doing a great job, man. I really appreciate that. Also, I went ahead and looked real quick. So, our Inara squadron. So if you look at our dates on our Inara squadron, it's a little misleading, because I made this squadron like a year ago now. Like, it's 400 and some odd days old or something like that. And it was just me and my real life buddy Gunskill in the squadron, because the original, we made this squadron simply because we wanted to have a fleet carrier, because that was back when fleet carriers were tied to squadrons. Well, now, yeah, that's why it is the way it is. And that's why some things have been edited the way they are and stuff like that. So, but we didn't have, we got a bunch of PC players, and then for a while there, Hate was the only Xbox player, and then we got a bunch of Xbox players, and now we're starting to get PS4 players in here, and I think that's super cool. And I know specifically that you and Devo Looter and other people are behind that, and this is only going to grow and get better. So I think that's a good testament to your leadership in this squadron and what you're doing for the player made faction. So I think that's good shit, man.
Cheers, mate.
I'm always on Discord.
Yeah.
If you're in our Discord, you're in Hate's pocket.
That's
all the time.
That's true. You're in my pocket too, but I have problems with. So when I first launched the Discord, I didn't do any damn work at work. My projects were just like whooshing by, and I didn't fall behind. I didn't get that bad, but I'm about 3-4 weeks ahead on all my projects, and I just got to where I was just even. And yeah, so having others manage that, and Chig, you're doing a good job too. I don't want to, take anything away from that, because having someone who can kind of manage that. His Trax does a great job at that. Chig does a great job at that. Hate does a good job at that. Dubs has been really helping out with that, to where I don't really have to participate, and I can actually get work done, because my work has gotten insane since the virus shit started. And it was always going to calm down really soon. Hadn't yet. Yep. Waiting for it. So anyway, so I do want to talk a little bit about the beta. So the beta has ended. The fleet carrier beta has ended, and the FDF has announced when they're going to do fleet carriers, and we'll talk about that in a second.
I was right.
I nailed it. June the 9th is when the patch goes live, so expect to be able to play June the 10th.
Or the 11th or 12th.
Somewhere
Let's
around
be
there.
real.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is going to be a huge patch. There's going to be a crap ton of people playing it. Expect some server lag, expect some performance issues, stuff like that. But be patient with it. They will sort it out. I do want to talk for a little bit about how FDev has kind of turned the corner as a company. And what I mean by that is back in the September update and then kind of again right around the January update, they were not really listening to their players. They didn't do a beta at all, to my knowledge, in the September one. And they did they did a very short beta in January. And this beta here was 2 different phases. It lasted, I think, a total of 4 weeks, or right at 4 weeks. And the fleet carriers, what we got initially versus what we ended up with, is kind of night and day a little bit. And it feels like their company really did a 180 and really started listening to their players and to their customers. And, oh, okay, you guys don't like this. Let me change this. Give us a little bit. We'll change this. Oh, this is a bug. We'll fix this. And I mean, this is one of the best betas I've ever been involved with as a video game player. They just done a great job with it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had never played a beta before this one, and not that I like spent a lot of time in it or anything like that, but it does seem, it does seem like, I don't want to say, well, I don't know. It's almost like we're all kind of growing together. Like the word culture shift comes to mind, but I don't think it's quite like that. I think there were some other factors at work, but like the whole system has been sort of rotating and adapting to itself. I think they knew they had done something kind of shifty. That did not sit squarely on the table. It slid around and it was messy in September, at the very least. And it, it takes, well, it's a big boat and it takes a lot to move that boat, right? But I think they've done a quite good job. I don't know if you can all hear my dog. It's decided to pick the moment when I start talking to start snarling and rolling around on the ground. So I don't know if he's coming through the mic, but anyway, yeah, I agree. I think the whole process went really well. I feel like for the most part, a lot of things happened that were big moves. I think some of it is revealing because of how intentional those moves seemed. Like, I think we should all expect this is what I would expect again in the future, right? I would expect a big feature to have a bunch of stuff sort of intentionally misaligned so that they can use the beta to refine it. And while at first I thought kind of negatively about that when it first popped up, I think I get the reasoning, and I think it's actually much more cooperative than the other way around. And I'm pretty chill and on board with it at this point. What do you guys think?
I'm just super happy that they decided to start adding betas, and people who signed the petition back in September probably feel like they can pat themselves on the back and say, hey, look, we got betas back. But could you imagine if this would have launched on live in its first iteration of the first beta? I mean, the salt was bad when it was a beta. If that had hit live game, oh my God, it would have been, I think, that whole country of England would have went up in flames with the laser beams of people's eyes going that way. But that's all that I take away from it.
What do you think there, Hate?
Well, I eat, sleep, and breathe BGS, and it has really taken a toll on the manpower we could afford in the live game.
There's the other perspective.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing I hadn't really thought about. I was curious about how much that really shorted you on that side, but I mean, clearly you were able to manage, so.
Well, remember, he said he was not meeting his goals.
So with this June the 9th launch, there's a couple of final little bug fixes they're doing here. The buttons used to increase or decrease both the bank and the commodity market will now scale like other systems in game when depositing credits or adjusting commodity prices. I think that, I think that was like one of the biggest irritations people were griping about, that it took forever. I think it was Chig was saying that he timed it. Didn't you say it took like a full 3 minutes or something?
It was about 2.5 minutes to scroll from 100% up to 1,000% at one point.
It's quality gameplay right there, man.
So
Compelling.
the contest that they were running, which ought to be closed. Well, yeah, of course it's closed by now, right? Because the beta's done.
They're actually announcing the winners tomorrow. So
okay, yeah. So the story, your story on a fleet carrier. I think we all saw the one person who made a video where their story on a fleet carrier was literally just scrolling the money for several minutes.
I had not seen that. That's awesome.
And it was the best. It was the finest music choice in the background. It was really fantastic.
Yeah, so
that is funny stuff.
Somehow I was actually missing that, but I'm really glad. Did you kind of have the same problems on the Xbox, or was it a situation where you had to keep, would it scale at all on the Xbox? Or
I played very early in the beta and then missed the blowout, and I'm poor.
Me too.
Yeah, I didn't play the beta hardly at all. Some people in our Discord were in there off and on a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, I think our core people that actually hang out and voice and stuff were in regular games still blowing each other up and stuff like that because we were just playing the regular game waiting for this to launch.
Yeah. Tritium mining will receive adjustments before launch to make it more lucrative, particularly in relation to subsurface mining. So,
that's good.
Yeah. There's actually be a reason to have a subsurface missile launcher equipped. So, kind of interested to see how well that actually works out. So, the other thing that people have been mentioning to me is that there are some credit exploits. It looks like they got rid of both of them here. The exploit involving selling modules in a fleet carrier's off-fitting service was fixed, and the credit exploit via trading using the wing bonus has been resolved. I think me and you, Trax, did that, didn't we? Or was it me and Chig? One of us, somebody.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. I think you imagined it.
No, there was somebody I did it with where we were like, oh, let's just do this, da da da.
Yeah, you get an imaginary bonus out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to the whole, if you do a mission or something, you get in a wing, you get a little money on the side for the bonus or whatever they call it.
Yeah, but this exploit was 5 billion an hour you could pull.
Yeah, I mean, you were able to, because I think the whole thing was like you could sell, I can't remember how it worked now. Basically, you were selling bio waste at like 1,000% markup or some shit. So I can't remember exactly how it worked, but
it was like, whatever. It doesn't matter. They fixed it. It was, you buy one thing and then sell it back at the same thing, but because you're in a wing, everyone in the wing gets a payout or something, even though that money just came out of nothingness.
Thin air, yeah. And because then it basically went into your inventory. Well, you sold it. Excuse me. You could just keep doing it over and over again. So,
yeah.
I'm grabbing the water.
What's the next thing we're going to talk about? I don't actually have the sheet in front of me, so I'm tabbing over to the thing now. So the credit exploits, a bug where we swapped the names of certain locations and markets in the game has also been fixed, with key examples such as Ceres Tarn receiving its original name once more! ! Very proud of themselves. A bug preventing transfer of commodities such as Thargoid sensors, Guardian urns, and others on fleet carriers has been resolved. Very good. And then the other credit exploit. So here's one I don't see on the list as a change is it doesn't seem like we're getting the system or galaxy clock back on the main Starport Services screen.
Yeah.
Which is what was being asked for by Alec Turner and the Buckyballers, because they use it to great need and effect for timing their races and making sure people don't cheat. We've been kind of mentioning and pulling for that since Beta 1 and have heard no feedback, apparently.
I know that I know specifically that Kai mentioned it to I believe Benedetti, and I think I mentioned it to Tim, and they said they'd look into it. And I'm hoping it's just something they haven't mentioned that they're just going to put back in the final release.
Yeah, I suppose it isn't actually a bug, but really hoping that comes back, guys. It would be good if it did.
I'm hoping it's a situation where I don't know what they got to do exactly to fix that. It seems like it'd be something really small to fix, but I'm sure that because they're a large company, that there's probably a lot more moving parts than what we know. So.
Yeah, I mean the whole panel was redesigned, and it seems like sort of absent-mindedly the clock gets removed. I don't know. It could be tricky. That's kind of why I was expecting to hear some news on the way, but I don't know. We're hopeful still. We're still hopeful.
Yeah. And I'm also like it seemed like other people hadn't mentioned it to FDev as well at some point. I don't exactly know when or where. I have some ideas though, but. Anyway, the other interesting thing that we didn't really talk about, and I didn't actually put this in the show notes here, shame on me, was I think it was you, Hate, that pointed out that there are some new commodities.
On further examination, several of them were just old ones that nobody had been using. One of them was actually a resource that you were supposed to be able to collect from like P and Q type anomalies, but right now there's no way to do that, but it's actually listed in the game as a commodity. I had to do some serious digging.
So this is like codex digging? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Right on.
So you get them from P and Q type anomalies. I wonder if that would give more a reason for the research limpets to be useful. Yeah.
So I need to mine my P's and Q's?
Oh my god, I hope so.
A+.
That is the name of this episode. Mine P's and Q's.
Flawless execution, my friend.
I gotta write that down. I will forget it. Hold on. Mine
need the rim shot. All right.
P's and Q's.
Oh, that's what. See, I need a list of things that I need to create for next time.
Even though I was thinking that was more of a sad trombone, should have gone after that one because I thought it was lame, but dad joke all the way.
Oh, dad jokes are the best. Dad jokes are the best.
Have you seen the title of our episodes? A lot of them are dad jokes, like bad dad jokes. I'm not even a dad, so.
You do a good job, Ty. I approve.
All right.
Full approve.
I know how much that matters to you. You cry yourself to sleep without it. I know. I'm sorry.
I have actually waited to post an episode because I couldn't come up with a catchy title, and then just eventually went with something.
Awesome. So it's funny. I never know what the titles are going to be, until now, until I see them like the next day, right when the episode actually goes out, and I had always kind of wanted to ask you, like, so what goes on when you? This is like a little bit of Ty's secret sauce or whatever.
There's no method to his madness. He just comes up with it on the fly.
They seem good, man. I like it. I think you do a great job.
I agree.
I don't know about that, but anyway, I'm happy with the thing. The other little bit of news I do want to talk about, and this is kind of a big deal here in America. It may not be a big deal to overseas folks, but so on Wednesday, the 27th, SpaceX, NASA was trying to launch the Dragon capsule on the Falcon 9 rocket, and everything looked really good, and then weather got in the way. This is a big deal because this will be the first, if we can get humans to the space station, this will be the first time that America has been able to launch people into space since 2011, the last space shuttle mission.
Yep.
So
I was watching it, and it was up to like almost 2 million people were watching the stream at the same time. That many people were ready to see some space sex, and then they canceled.
What'd you say? What'd you say in there?
Space sex.
Space sex. Yep.
Yes, SpaceX. Space sex. Yes.
We're all
scientists.
It
was a real bummer that they canceled it though, because that was kind of exciting.
Yeah, I get why they did though, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, just send the damn thing. Just do it. Let Dubs fly the damn thing.
Well, maybe if it was just Dubs on board, then we don't care if it explodes. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that.
Jeez, man.
But if
like I said, is if it was up to Dubs, he would have launched in a hurricane. So weather would not have mattered.
If there was a guy who
Probably
would launch this rocket, get it up to orbit, and then dock the damn thing with his hair on fire, it's Dubs. So
Absolutely.
Yep.
I've never seen Dubs in person. Does he have hair?
I have no idea. He's in the military. I kind of assume not.
Never assume somebody has hair.
Got it.
That's my wisdom for the day. Boy, that was a weird one. Boy, that felt weird coming right out of my mouth.
That's a weird rule to live by, I tell you. Oh, wow.
Sometimes I say things and the next thought in my head is, how did I get this comfortable on a microphone?
Phrasing again.
No excuse.
The best part is Hate's sitting there going, can I jump in or should I say anything? Or?
Oh no, I'll just watch.
Watch the train wreck develop.
Anyway, they're going to try another launch on this Saturday, which I don't have a calendar in front of me. Should have clicked the button first. Is the 30th. They're going to try it again on the 30th. However, weather right now is not looking good. I think the time on that is like 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern is their launch time. Probably not going to do it again. Probably not going to make it again because of the weather. I'm hoping I'm wrong though. So
Yeah, it's hard to make predictions, especially about the future.
More words of wisdom.
oh
Yes, that's right.
What is happening? Here, remember when we're talking about cheese? What is even happening?
That comes later.
Oh, is it time? Is it time for Chig Chat?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do Chig Chat. Let's do it.
All right. Hold on.
Chig Chat.
Hold on.
Oh boy.
Chig Chat.
It's Chig Chat. Yeah, that's a fact. It's Chig Chat. Where the cheese at?
We here at Loose Screws never end a sentence with a preposition.
It is what it is. See what I did there?
Yep.
God, you play that and I can't even think.
Your
straight
mind
after that.
erases.
Yeah, it does. It's like, what the hell is going on? To steal Ty's line. Okay, so Chig Chat last week was something just, I wanted some ideas for improving CQC. Once again, it proved the popularity of CQC. I think about maybe 3 people made any comments whatsoever. What I gathered is one main thing is better awards, rewards, whatever you want to give for it, some extra arcs that you can earn or, higher credit payout, faster ranking, anything to make it, some kind of worthwhile rather than it just being fun. Other ideas that people had is, being able to bring in, engineered ships and stuff, your own ships and fight might be interesting if you could do something like that without the cost of a rebuy and some kind of thing. Mm. But once again, CQC is it needs some love. I still love it. I finally got onto the first page of rankings, hit 75 last night. I'm still pretty god awful at it, but I'm having fun. But this week, what I want to talk about, I wanted to know what people are naming their fleet carriers a couple weeks ago, and that got me to thinking about another thing is commander names. I was like, want to know fleet carriers because you can only have one. You can only have one name for your commander too, and we got a lot of old gamers, and some of us like myself. My name comes from, Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. That movie came out back in 2007. I was playing Warcraft at the time, World of Warcraft, and I thought a good name for a rogue was that the villain from that movie. He was a scary badass, and I thought that was a good name. Yeah, so I went with that, and it just ended up sticking. I was in a 25-man raiding guild. and soon, that's what everybody's calling you, and you're an officer in the guild and doing raid leads and stuff, and soon everybody's calling you Chig. Instead of Shigur, it was Chig, it got shortened to, and then Chigger, and every version of Chig you can have is what it's been. And every game after that, probably because of my lazy nature, it's been some version of Chig or Shigur, just because I didn't have to think of a name. That is who I am now going forward. And now Trax, your name seems pretty logical. Your initials, then Trax. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was to do with doing audio engineering and stuff like that. It was sort of like early on when I was like a teenager and sort of getting into hobbying it and stuff like that. I kind of had that email address and stuff from way back then, and I don't know. It was easy. It kind of flowed and stuck. Yeah, I think names do kind of happen like that, where at a certain point you can't turn them off, right? They sort of take on a life.
Then you got Ty. It's his actual first name, but then he goes by Tiervil in game. Where's Tiervil from?
So there's actually kind of know the history of that is kind of a long story, and I will tell you the whole long story here. So going back, you have to go back to when I played tabletop D&D, and back then I had to make a character. I was like, all right, well, I want to play a dwarf, and the very first dwarf name way back then in one of the books I saw, I don't remember if it was the D&D book, but one of the books I was reading was the dwarf Bandar, or the dwarf Bandar. So Bandar was my World of Warcraft character. He's been the character I've made going through the years. So when I got over to Elite, Bandar was taken. Like when I made my character name, so I'm like, what the hell? So
that always sucks.
So my real name is Ty Worsham, and that is my middle name. So and it's not like an abbreviation or anything like that. It's actually the full blown name. So I have some Norwegian blood in me, and my grandmother used to tell me the story that I was named for the Norwegian god Tyr. So that's where Tyr came from. The Vol part came from my old FPS handle, which was Volition. So I married the two and made Tyrvol, and it just kind of stuck. That was my commander name. And that's how
that's been pretty much born since launch of this game. As long as that's been around. Right on.
And I've actually I think Volition is my, I can't remember my Steam name right now. I think Volition is my Steam name. I think there's some numbers at the end. I can't remember what they are right now. And then there's I have Volition in a lot of places, but I've noticed that there's a lot of places. There's a company that used to make video games called Volition, and they actually gobbled up a lot of the actual actual domains and stuff like that. So I couldn't really get all those. But Tyrvol is not taken in a lot of places. So Bandar's not, and Tyrvol's not. So now I have a character in World of Warcraft named Tyrvol, and all my characters going forward will be named Tyrvol. So that's the great big long story of my character name. So
it's sticking. It's just sticking from more recent times and flowing backwards in time.
Yeah, it would be Bandar if not for someone in Elite already named Bandar. And if I find you, I will kill you. Unless you're a really good PvPer, and then I will run like a bitch.
I think Shigur was taken, and that's how I ended up going with just simply Chig, because Shigur was taken, but Chig wasn't. So I was like, all right, so now I'm Chig. Otherwise, it would have been Shigur. What about you, Hate?
My handle actually comes from when the Needless gaming community began to coalesce. As on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, my first gamer tag on Xbox Live had to scroll. I was like, I gotta fix that. I need something shorter. So the first iteration of NL Hate was NL space H8, and later I expanded it to Hate.
Once you had more letters.
Yeah, just Stretch that 8 out.
You made it too short and went longer again. All right.
Yeah.
How many years has that been your handle then?
A whole decade.
And you use it because you're on Xbox. You use that across all games you play, I assume.
Yes. Except for one.
Which game
He
is
said
that?
cryptically.
League of Legends.
Oh God, you play
Is that on the
League of
Xbox?
Oh, no. I have a PC. It's just in disrepair.
All you need is a power cord. Good God, give me your address. I'll FedEx one to you tomorrow.
Is this where we
My
were talking
God.
about power cords the other night?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Well, wait. If you give him a power cord, though, we're gonna have nobody watching the Xbox Squadron for us.
He
Well,
can manage it from everywhere.
Yeah, probably.
I was kind of kidding.
Wait a minute. Doesn't the Xbox run on a standard power cord?
Yeah, he needs an IEC cord like you'd get from anywhere. That's what they were talking about in general the other night.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I have an Xbox One X, and it uses a different power cord. I tried.
Ah.
Oh,
You have
okay,
3
okay.
Xboxes.
The
Are
other
all
ones
of
get
them?
used too often.
You have an excuse
The other
for
ones are
everything.
sticky.
Yes,
Right.
I have an excuse for everything.
All right, perfect. All right, so the extension of Chick Chat this week, or hop over on the Discord, go into Chick Chat, and I want to hear where your names came from because we've got a lot of fun names. I understand, some of the guys, it's their actual names, last names, things like that. Others are twists on things. Some people only name themselves after Star Wars characters or something like that. I mean, like I was thinking about naming my fleet carrier Big Cheese and then naming all of my ships after types of cheeses, but I just don't want to do it because I don't know if I'm going to own a fleet carrier, but that's a whole other story. We'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But yeah, just hop in, Chick Chat. If you're not a member of the Discord, come join us. The Loose Screws Discord, I don't know links or anything like that. I'm old. I can barely use a rotary
LoseScrewsED.com. All the
phone.
links are there.
All right, there we go. What Track said. So come on over, join the fun, hop in voice chat, join the madness, help us win wars, help us expand the thingamajig and the whatchamacallit, and we will mine our P's and Q's, and we're moving on.
Yep.
I am kind of jealous of people who get to use their real names in game. It seemed like such a bad idea in the 90s, but I don't know. I feel like we're in charge now. I feel like it's not a big deal. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I thought about using my full real name and social security number, but it doesn't fit.
Okay. All right. I'll take your hint. We can move on.
Well, this is what I'll say about it. Like, I use my real name on this podcast from day one, and
Yeah.
I was like, I put a lot of thought into that, and my biggest fear was because I had planned on doing some streaming and stuff like that, but my biggest fear was getting swatted. And I don't even want to talk about it because I'm afraid I'm going to put it out in the universe and get swatted. Just FYI, the person that swats me, I will find you and for real kill you, because that's not even fucking funny. Not even fucking funny.
And yet we're all laughing.
It's I mean, people have died from that. It's not even funny. And just God, I have so many guns.
Well, as Track said, to get off that topic as quickly as possible, as Track said, it seemed like back in the 90s it was much more, you had much more many more warnings about don't get your real name out there, don't do this, and you wanted to avoid any personal identifiable stuff online at all because the internet was new and it was scary and you didn't want to go that. And then as you got into
But how am I supposed to get
2000s
Instagram
and
famous
later,
if you don't have my handle?
but exactly, but that's just it. Is now these days nobody cares. It doesn't seem to care at all. I mean, I have no qualms saying my real name, on this show or anywhere, because I don't know, if somebody wants to steal my identity, they can have a miserable life too, I guess. But
I think it's kind of back in a long time ago, there was kind of this unknown worry. And I think I think it kind of goes both ways, right? So at a certain point, like you do want some anonymity, but at the point where you're making yourself into like a community known person. So when you're participating in a community like this, there's a value in the not anonymity as well. Like, so it's sort of like if somebody tried to steal one of our identities, there's like a lot of people who know who we are. And so that actually has some safety to it. There's like sort of like a safety of a crowd kind of situation on the other side of it. So I guess that's sort of a non-joke thing that I thought of while you were talking. Oh, well, I should stick to jokes.
No, that's really interesting. I like that. At least you're not threatening people with guns. That did take a good turn.
He just said he has guns.
First of all, if I get swatted, I'm not using any guns because the police will be coming in here. No, but I'm just saying I got a lot of guns, and that's a lot of paperwork for them. I'm just saying. So
you're just trying to save people paperwork.
I mean, I know a lot of the guys, so they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, why are we raiding this guy's house?" So then again, they might be like, "Oh fuck this guy." So
interesting.
Anyway, so yeah, I made the decision to use my real name, and I thought long and hard about it. And the biggest reason why is because when I did this, I wanted it to be open and honest. And I didn't want to have to hide anything or hide behind some sort of fake name or, handle or anything like that. And I just wanted to, be honest about what I was working on. So,
yeah,
that's the deal. So anyway,
right on.
What else, chiggers?
That was it for that. Just people come hang out in Discord. I want to know where your name came from. If you want to give your real name and address, that's fine too. I'm not going to judge. But I think we can move forward from here.
All right.
Hey, the Distant Screws expedition has officially ended, by the way. So if you didn't get back by now, then I guess you don't get marked complete. It looks like there are 44 people that succeeded out of the 76 participants. So yeah, it's done. The everyone who has your badge, congratulations. I feel bad because I think a couple of people don't have badges because of a mistake I made, and I'll try to do better next time.
Wow. How far did we end up traveling? Do you have it up on your screen?
I sure do. So the total distance was 4,227,195 light years.
That is a long ways. Wow.
Yes.
How many people died?
25.
God, how do you die, you idiots? No, just kidding. It all happens.
Terrible.
I know. I'm a bad person. All right.
Yeah, that's we need to. Of course, we're gonna have to go through new era and stuff before then, but we need to start kind of putting together what we're going to do for our next community event. So I got some ideas. So we'll have to talk after the show.
We've been talking over some things, and I've done slight, tiny amounts of prep on a couple of ideas, but we'll see what kind of happens.
Yeah. So on story time with Old Man Ty.
Oh wait.
No, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead and play it, and then I'll talk.
Okay.
That's the way it works.
Gather round, children. Old Man Ty has another story to share.
So, yeah, there's not one this week because I got super busy at work the last couple of days and did not have time to prepare one. So, sorry.
Oh, bummer.
I am super unprepared this week, which is it's a rare for me not to be prepared for one of these, and I feel bad about that. But
But on the
People
other side,
should.
it's funny that you let me play the sound anyway.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I had to leave it in there because it was.
This is the story about the time Ty was not prepared for story time.
I figure we got a missing episode. We might as well have a missing story time. So
Right on.
however, DJ Wiley did go out there to the Soontil system and has a screenshot there. But we will go over all of story time next week. You still got time to go out to the Soontil sector or Soontil system and take some screenshots there. We'll do a full-blown story time next week. And that's all for story time. Hey, how do you feel about story time? Do you like story time as a part of the show, or
I enjoy it.
do you? Yeah,
I've been the first couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah, you've participated a lot in those. I need to get back. I need to stop being lazy and participate in my own thing and do the things. But unfortunately, I have been very busy. I don't think I've been in a game but once this week. I think that was last night. And just busy with work stuff. So
Schedule's still just nuts over here too. I can't. I feel the urge, and I can't get over here. I can't fly, hardly ever.
I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I have been playing some Modern Warfare Warzone, but those are like little 20, 30 minute things you can get in and get out, and it's hard to do a 30-minute Elite Dangerous thing. So
yeah, exactly. Like there are times when I'm oh man, I could play a game for 15 or 20 minutes. That's not what Elite is. I'd hardly get to where I wanted to go to do a thing by then, It's a shame.
yeah, not complaining about it because, I was thinking about this today. It's like, another game that I really enjoy playing, but you can't just play in like 20, 30 minutes. It's like Divinity 2. And it's made by Larry and the people who are making Baldur's Gate 3. And Baldur's Gate 3 is going to run on a Divinity 2 original, or Divinity Original Sin 2 is the game I'm talking about. I can't talk. It's a great big turn-based game. So you can't just sit down for 15, 20 minutes and play. You get into combat. It's a 45-minute combat. It's a great game.
Yeah.
I love it, but it's not a quick thing you can do. So anyway.
And we like the depth of our games. We're not complaining.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the little jump in, jump out games, like little smaller ones every now and then too. But
Well, maybe this is what CQC should be if there were enough people playing it that you could be sure you'd get a match and you could play 1 or 2 rounds and then be done.
So I like the way you think.
I actually had a thought on that too. I think it'd be kind of cool if we had like actual objective CQC, like not just the death match or capture the flag, but like escort the bombers. And they have to put in bombers. I don't know how the bombers would even work, but escort the bombers to this location before they bomb a surface target. Put some CQCs on the surface as well. That'd be pretty cool.
It would be awesome. Just kind of a scenarios thing, I think.
Yeah.
Would work where there's different scenarios you can go play. I mean, if you've got in the tutorials the new training kind of stuff you can do where you're doing different things, but something in game where you can be cooperative with others, I think would be interesting. But then again, where do we want their development time going, considering that new era, next era? I think it's officially next era these days is what they're going with now.
Ooh.
I've heard new era and next era. I think that's the official nomenclature they're going with. So if nomenclature can actually be a word there.
It's absolutely
Watch
a
Big
word.
Lebowski, it is.
I had a complete brain fart there. So, all right. So I want to talk for just a minute about fleet carriers. Because in 2 weeks, we're getting these things. Yeah, I know. Fleet carriers. Yeah. In 2 weeks, we're getting these things. And my idea of what I want it to do with the fleet carrier has drastically shifted over the months. Actually, over the years, I guess we should say, since they first started. And kind of what I'm thinking about right now is because you got a 15-minute jump time, you can get anywhere in the bubble in 15 minutes with all of your ships effectively, or up to 40 of your ships, and bring your friends. So my brain is kind of shifted to where the fleet carrier is the toolbox, and the ships you put on it are your tools. So I've been trying to like the way, so going along that line, my brain goes to, okay, so what ships do I want to put on there? So, do you see, like, I think Chig, you're kind of on the fence about even getting a fleet carrier, right?
Yeah, I still don't know for sure. And I mean, with your analogy at being a toolbox, I see it more, the fleet carrier itself is more like your work truck, bringing every tool you own everywhere you go. And I don't know if you need to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Trex, you're not getting one, correct?
I do not have monies for that. But I don't, I'm not really lamenting it either. I'm not lamenting not having the money. It's probably a someday for me, but I'm not in a hurry,
And I think, hey, you've already said you don't have the dollars for it, right?
Right.
Well, that means that all you guys can mine tritium on my fleet carrier. So
Yeah. I think I'd be much happier sort of contributing and being part of it, but we can still talk about ships and tools and stuff, of course.
yeah. So the way I'm going to do mine, I've kind of divided this up into 6 different general roles of the kind of ships that you should have on your fleet carrier. And if I'm forgetting a role here, y'all be sure to tell me. Oh, actually, I've already seen the one I forgot. So it should be seven roles. I just remember the first one I forgot here is the number 7. So I think that you should have an explorer. I think you should have a warship. I think you should have a rescue ship, some sort of transport ship, a shuttle, an anti-Xeno ship, and a miner. What of those roles am I forgetting?
See,
Tree hauler.
I have a ship that I use just for like engineering mat gathering. Does that fit into one of those categories somewhere?
It's like a jumper.
Yeah, well, has a SRV on it. So if I'm scanning a Jameson Memorial, if I need to go around on a planet, or if I'm, just hitting HGEs, but, carry some cargo, so I'm getting interdicted by elite condas. If I'm just farming engineering mats, I've got a ship specifically for that.
Would you count a Diamondback Explorer in that role?
For me,
doesn't seem like the
no.
sort of thing you'd fight off interdictors in.
Elite Anacon, yeah. No, I use my Corvette for that.
Yeah,
that's my Corvette. I throw an SRV on it, pull the fighter bay out, and that's what I out when I'm collecting engineering mats.
Heresy.
I know, right?
See, so I'm kind of right there with you, because I use my vet for literally everything. My vet's my rescue ship. My vet's my warship. It's a transport when I want it to be a transport.
Yeah, depending on how much you need to haul.
Well, yeah, of course. But so I guess you could theoretically cross, just carry the outfits, or the outfits. God, we're gonna change shirts now, y'all.
Outfitting.
See, I'm waiting for you to sell me on a reason that I should be carrying my whole fleet around in a toolbox. Ty, that's what I hear you piecing this together, and that's because I feel like I could just have almost all this at a station. Then I've got my bubble taxi if I need to get around quick, and having to spend the amount of money to jump, tritium cost, whatever that ends up falling at, credit wise or time wise. I just see almost all of that so much quicker if you're in the bubble. I see my fleet carrier for parking outside a has-res or a conflict zone or something, and using it in that capacity, and me just going about my other everyday gaming stuff in whatever ship I want to be in that day. So it would be nice, if all of a sudden I want to do Xeno hunting, instead of taking 15 jumps or whatever to get out there, and one big jump. So I don't know. Tell me.
So okay. My initial idea with this goes back to the squadron-based fleet carrier was 500 light year jump range, which has not changed. Well, it means I can get to places in the galaxy that no other ship can. So I'm going to take this thing out exploring, and I'm effectively going to explore my vet. So if I'm going to be that far out, well, and again, this goes back to me and my buddy Gun Skill. We were going to do this, and he doesn't really play anymore. So things have kind of shifted. But the idea was we go out there, and then we take our warships or whatever, our ships that we want to fly, and we explore with those. And then we have, like we go in like a 500 light year bubble around wherever we jump the fleet carrier to. We go back, get it ready for another jump. We jump, rinse, wash, repeat. So that's the general idea, or that was the first idea behind it. So that way, that's why you would need, you would need to bring your miner, you would need to bring your rescue ship, probably your explorer ship, because that way, if you wanted to do longer jumps, or if you, I could see taking an anti-Xeno ship just in case you come across something that no one else had discovered before. That would be useful.
If you find something no one's seen before, so you can blow it up.
Well, I don't know what else we do within this game, but
perfect.
And then, I would actually modify my exploration ship to be kind of a like a science ship, and have all of the what are they called? Like the research limpets and stuff on it. So that was the idea behind it. Wouldn't necessarily need a transport, but so the idea behind it now is, as we are expanding the Loose Screws faction and whatnot. I know the fleet carrier doesn't really apply to that, but I could jump it to that system. It would be a good midpoint for getting around in system. Or if you we needed to fight in a war somewhere, well, I could park it near the conflict zone. Yes, you can't turn in combat bonds there, but you could go there, rearm, refuel, go back to the combat zone, rearm, refuel, and then when you're ready to turn in your combat, you go to the station you're supposed to turn it into. So that's why it's kind of shifted to be that now. But now, there's a bunch of things I want to do with the fleet carrier, but I'm kind of seeing it be my base of operations right now. It's kind of how I'm seeing it. And so I guess maybe a better question is, what will you do? Like if you were to get a fleet carrier, what would you do with it?
What would you do, Hate, if you had one? We let him be quiet for too long.
That's true.
Speak.
Me?
Well, all right, Tracks. Yeah, you Hate.
Sorry. Well, I would probably just use mine for mass raiding, so I could force a boom into a system and manipulate the BGS just like FDev doesn't want me to.
So you load up all your friends and all of their warships and transport ships and just economy boom from both sides?
Yes.
Huh.
Okay. It can hold up to 25,000 tons of whatever I decide to put on there.
Right. So do you fly it somewhere and you buy enough to like 100% satisfy the demand of like the most in demand thing in a system, and then just drop them all there on the same day? Does that work?
Yes. That short answer,
decisive,
yes.
Yes.
Obviously, you're not going to like increase your speed a lot because it's only as fast as you can unload the carrier with whatever ship you're doing it, but you don't have to worry about pirate interdictions or using a shield or a fuel scoop if it's a longer range haul.
Well, you're not doing multiple jumps too, right? So once it's all there, you're in and out of Super Cruise over and over again is all you're doing.
Just like when you're unloading a burning station of its survivors.
Right.
And having a fleet carrier for that would be handy too, because you wouldn't have to worry about if it's an outpost or a full-blown station either, because you could have medium ships in your fleet carrier.
Yep.
Right on. What about you, Trex?
I kind of think I would, if I have one, it would have like the toolbox thing, like Ty's talking about. Like I probably would like to kind of carry all my stuff around, and it's not because like I think I'm always going to need that, but because I do kind of want, I just randomly change ships all the time. I have, you say like, oh, you need a warship. I have like half of the ships I have are combat ships, and I just switch them all the time because I'm like, oh, this is novel. I want to fly my Vulture again. And, the other day in Discord, somebody was talking about they tried out a Chieftain for the first time. I drew up a build, a suggestion, and they tried it out. They're like, oh, I love this. This is great. Thanks so much. I'm going to sell my Vulture. And I was like, what? No, you need so many combat ships, not because you actually need them. I mean, obviously, like most of the mediums or like the vet or something is going to be fine. Like there's nothing you can't blow up in those, but it's just because it's variety and difference, and they're fun. And then I have, some ships specifically tasked for other things like anti-Xeno or transport or something. But just build lots of weird stuff, and just to have them all around, people pick out a home system and move most of their ships to that system. Most of us just moved everything over to Mori Port and Ross 310 when we took over. And that's like where our home is. So this is, it doesn't do our faction any good for you to have all your ships there. It's just that that's where you're going to choose to play because all of your ships are there. So if your ships are all in the fleet carrier, you can, okay, right now we're warring in this system. So I'm just going to like take all my stuff over there. And I know I don't need my miner while I'm doing that. And I don't need my exploration ship, but I still have all that crap.
That's home.
Because it would be easy at that point. At the point where I'm actually taking the time to like maintain a carrier and go through the whole song and dance of the thing, then yeah, I would definitely put all of my ships on there, and I would have 6 different flavors of combat. Why not?
Well, something else to think about too is, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we talked to the guys over at Project Echo, and you got to think about like Dubs does some anti-Xeno, or not does some anti-ganker. So like, he let's say for instance, he goes and, there's a bunch of gankers over in DC tonight. Okay, cool. I'm going to fly over to DC it, but I'm also going to order my fleet carrier from wherever it's at to DC it, park it there. And then this way I have access to, number one, I can park there, take back off, so where if I get killed, I can get redeployed pretty quick. Or 2, if you like you show up like, oh man, these guys are like a really shield strong tonight, so let me get my anti-shield stuff. Or these guys are really hull strong tonight, let me get my anti. Yeah, you can have some different builds to play it. You can kind of fast action stuff,
Yeah, when we've been doing that, it's been tricky because we were 5 or 6 jumps away sometimes from where we wanted to either change ships, or maybe we've discovered that the PvPers had moved or something, and I'm in a ship that's very specifically designed and has a crap jump range. It takes me eternity to get somewhere. Maybe I don't even have a fuel scoop. So yeah, just be able to hop. One of us has a carrier, and we just hop it over to the place where it needs to be.
A whole bunch, yeah.
Yeah, and then what do we got to mine? Like 2 or 3 rocks of tritium, assuming this subsurface drill missile thing turns out to work. We could fuel the carrier for a jump across the bubble easily enough.
Yeah. Yeah, or for that matter, if we're you just buy the stinking tritium too, because you can do that. So
there you go.
and then just use the miner to mine up some LTDs. I'm not sure which way is going to really be the better way to do it yet. Probably have to do some experimenting on that. So
It'll depend where you are.
yeah,
Would it be nice if we expand into a system that sells tritium?
Huh, it would be nice, huh?
oh man, I sure wish hate would work on that.
I know, right? Well, here's me with the carriers. First, I just want to mention, you said DCIOT. Yeah, how everybody pronounces that one different. DCIOT, Decot. I have no idea. I go DCIOT. That's right. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
I purposely said it like that just to throw another wrench in the machine there. So
You did
your
not.
hillbilly hick speak.
I may or may not have, but I will take credit for it either way.
All right. So, but no, the carriers. This is what I wish, that there were a few more. What are they called? Modules you can put on them, and you have the shipyard and the tritium depot and all that stuff. I wish that they had some more expensive ones that you could throw on your thing, like a material trader. Oh my God, I would pay a lot of money to have a material trader on my own fleet carrier.
You and everybody else.
I don't
that's a
even know
brilliant
how much
idea.
I would pay to have an experimental effect dealer where you can get your engineering experimental effects all done in one place. I would pay the original upkeep costs. I'd pay $150 million a week to have that on my carrier. Swear to God, because I would change ships all the time. Right now, reason I don't own more ships is because I hate having to run to all those fucking engineers to get all the experimental effects. So you add those to it, my fleet carrier. I've got one. I will have one. I will pay that high fee, and I will love my fleet carrier. Other than that, I'm still undecided.
Okay, so think about this. What if, all right, so you're going to re-engineer some stuff. I'm going to take my fleet over to this engineer, do up in, one ship at a time to re-engineer however you want to engineer, and then go to the next engineer, for the experimental effect, I mean.
Yeah, carrying your whole fleet, you outfit it, and then it's like, okay, we need to go do the frag cannons. I got frag cannons on these 4 ships. Let's fly them all over there in one thing. But then you're still going to have to fly each one, super cruise in, land on the planet, fly back up, get in the next one.
Well, no, what you do is, if it's frag cannons or whatever, you buy a federal gunship. Or, you know what I mean? You get your mule ships, load them up with the guns you want. Anyway, that's a much less game-breaking idea than Chig's idea.
It's not game-breaking. It is called a quality of life improvement for people with a shit ton of credits.
Yeah, I want those lasers that the ATR vultures have.
ATR? Oh,
if you become way too wanted and they send the real cops after you, they have these vultures with like red lasers that just instant kill Corvettes. Yeah,
wow.
I want those lasers too.
my
That's
gosh.
not game breaking.
That's horrible. Well, why would they want to hurt a Corvette?
Why would anyone hurt a Corvette?
Just awful. Oh, that's like drowning kittens or something. Just stop it.
Oh my God. There's nothing wrong with that. Wait, what? I don't want Pete to get in here.
Oh my gosh.
Kittens.
Kittens,
All
cat,
right.
meow.
Well, God.
Okay.
I think that's about everything I want to talk about fleet carriers. So I have anything else? Fleet carrier.
You got anything else, Hate?
I'm good.
He's good. Tracks, anything else?
Not I.
So just to be clear, you want them to sell super death vultures at the fleet carriers.
No, I was trying to make fun of you, and everything got all muddled with the kittens and other stuff. And now I don't think anybody realizes how funny and clever my remarks were.
Is this like what the hell was you changed dinner roll? Is this like dinner roll?
No, he truly said dinner roll.
Okay.
I don't think I said general. I think I said general.
You confused Discord so bad with that one.
I did it. I did it like at a stoplight. I honestly, I couldn't believe how long that stayed.
It was there a long time.
It was there for weeks, and I was like, I'm not going to turn it off. I thought for sure he'd have it gone by the end of the day, but it was there for weeks, you guys.
No, it was too funny to just like take it down. It was great, man.
But that's because Redneck Hillbilly Radio says general as dinner roll. Got it. Now I finally get the joke. All right.
Wait, this is the moment you get the joke?
I'm going to go with it, yes, because it's so much funnier if it took me this long.
Eating too much cheese again.
He's got cheese brain.
See, you saying eating too much cheese like it's a bad thing is like, I don't know.
Drowning kittens.
Like, yeah, drowning kittens or having vultures blow up Corvettes. It's just wrong.
Remember when our Sidewinders blew up your Corvette?
No.
Well, no, I guess we didn't. We took you to 10%.
Yes,
You should
stop, and y'all did.
We should do an event like that again. I think everybody would love to come blow up your Corvette.
And I killed Dubs' wife, so you know.
How about this? Pick a teammate, and we'll fight 2 vets, but we all get vultures.
So I get the last like 5 minutes.
You think it would go
Maybe.
faster instead of slower?
Okay, so number one for our big Christmas thing, I got a plan for our Christmas thing,
Okay.
but it involves doing that again. But I have a spin on it. I don't know if I want to say it. I'll just go ahead and say it. So I don't give a shit. So the idea was that I'm going to outfit a vet with all turrets and have a fighter bay on it, and I want someone to fly the fighter bay and someone to run the guns the way you're supposed to in multi-crew.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else fly any. We'll do either a Sidewinder or a Eagle, and then and then we'll see how that works out.
Okay, so you get full multi-crew. Yeah, okay. That sounds cool.
Yeah, do something a little different with it. So
I was about to say I bet the Sidewinders die quick, but I said that last time too.
Yeah, so here's the thing on that. I stopped shooting people when they hit about 20%, with the exception of Dubs' wife.
And me.
Did I kill you too?
You shot my ship down, but I came back.
Yeah, you went and repaired, didn't you?
Oh,
Didn't
Dubs
we
is
bot?
interdicting me, you guys. I'm submitting.
Oh,
shit.
no.
All right, that's where we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Hey, you have any orders you want to hand out here before we wrap it up?
We have people faction in retreat in Bumper, and we need to ensure that they finish their retreat. The war in Ross 310 is finishing up on the daily tick tomorrow, and hopefully the day after tomorrow or the day after that will be an expansion to Bumper.
Woohoo! Nice work, man. Couple of things here for note. One, next week there is a good chance there will not be a show, or it will be late. The reason why is because there will probably I probably will be out Thursday night because Friday is my birthday. So I got a feeling that I will have friends come and take me out and kidnap me and stuff, because that has been historically what has happened in the past.
Right on.
And the following week on the 11th, we will have that episode may be late as well because of the release of Fleet Carriers, and we may need to give it time so we can give our review of Fleet Carriers, which I get a feeling is just going to be more of the server's down today, but we'll see how that goes during that week.
Wouldn't it be
Basically,
wild if the server didn't go down and it all just like worked?
I got a feeling that aside from some server lag due to just sheer saturation, it's going to be a lot more smoother than what people are giving credit for, because FDev has really outdone themselves on this beta. So I think it's going to be great. So just my 2 cents on it. Chig broke down some notable movie anniversaries just to mention here. The Shining is 40 years old. I've never seen. I've seen The Shining.
These were
I've
all
never
out
seen
this week. That's why I mentioned them. After
Right.
you did Empire Strikes Back last week, being 40 years, and turned into the discussion it did. In case we needed more stuff, I just threw that on the notes. But go for it.
So what is Brewster's Millions? I've never seen that.
You've never seen Brewster's Millions with Richard
I haven't
Pryor?
either.
Oh, okay. Put that on your list.
Hold on.
All right.
I'm googling this real quick.
Yeah, he has
This is good podcast data right here, y'all.
Yeah, he has to
Good.
spend $30 million in 30 days in order to get $300 million. But there are rules in how he has to spend it all, and it's funnier than shit. But also, it's a good movie if you like, classic, John Candy, Richard Pryor. It was got to see it.
How have I not seen? I thought I'd seen all of Richard Pryor's movies. How have I not seen this?
It's a classic. Yeah,
Hmm.
go
I'll
see
have to
that.
check this out. Yeah. So there's that. Braveheart. So that movie's 35. Braveheart turned to 25. So freedom. And
I feel stupid old knowing that that's 25 years old. That does not seem like it's that old.
yeah. So the one that really got me here was Total Recall, because I saw that in the movie theater. And was very happy I saw it in the movie theater, because I was like, oh wow, there's 3 boobies. So I love that movie. I love that movie so much. And yes, I know it's not true to the book, and I know that the Colin Farrell remake is
Garbage.
awful. The only thing good about it is the girl fight between Kate Beckinsale and Jessica Biel. Is that right?
I don't remember. Beckinsale's in there. I don't remember who the other hot
Jessica Biel.
person was.
Jennifer Biel.
Oh.
Jennifer Biel? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, there was
Jennifer-
a
Jennifer,
girl
who's
fight.
Jennifer Beal?
Fuck.
I think
That's
he's
not a
just making
person.
up names now.
Well, I mean, that might be a person.
See,
but-
I don't like you shooting past Braveheart so fast. Braveheart, in my opinion, is the best movie ever made. So that's my all-time favorite movie.
Is that right? That's the best movie
Even
ever
after
made?
Mel Gibson lost his mind and turned into this giant anti-Semitic psychopath screaming at his girlfriend on the phone, I still love that movie to this day. I saw that movie in the theater like 6 times.
Wow. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's ridiculously historically inaccurate, but
Well, yeah, it's not a historical, it's not a documentary. Let's just go that route. But it's entertaining
Yes.
as F is what it is.
yeah.
Love that movie.
Anyway, I am going to, I think this is where we're going to wrap up the show. Guys, please, if you want to get a hold of us, the best way to do it is loosescrewsed.com. Go to the contact page. I still need to update and get Chig on to the crew page. I got been ridiculously sidetracked with some stuff, but the contact page has our Discord on there, has our email on there, has our YouTube, has our Twitch, has all the things. So if you're not in our Discord, please join us, and that way Chig can whip you into shape, and NL Hate will tell you where to go kill people in Bumber. So
Oh, I'll tell him where to go.
I haven't said this in a while, but do check out jantracks.com. He does some great stuff over there. Yeah, I can't wait to hear some of the other stuff that you have been talking about too, because you kind of mentioned it to me last week with that band. I can't wait to hear some of that.
Yeah, Derek's band, Delaney. Yep, almost done. I think we're done on that. They've been sitting on it for a while, and they haven't come back to me with any notes yet. So
Awesome. Can't wait. I can't wait to hear that. So
it's really good.
yeah, because that's that movie. Man, Derek, his guitar playing is amazing. Because he did our intro music, and I guess technically our outro music. So it's
Yeah, Derek's playing the lead guitar on the theme song. Yeah.
yeah. And Tracks mixed it all together and did all the other stuff. So it just anyway, I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear.
I met Jessica Biel once.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing, the things where if you go to the movie theater early, you watch like the commercials and crap, and sometimes there's like actors talking about the projects that they're working on. They're sort of like selling you. It's sort of like a long pitch. Yeah, that's called the EPK. That for some reason, electronic press kit. For some reason, they do that. So she was filming a movie here in Cincinnati, and I was actually on crew doing the EPK stuff. So like between scenes, they would get the actors to come into the other room and like talk about the movie for a while as like a talking head interview.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did all of them. It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you got a picture, with her, and
I'm sure you can find a picture of her on the internet.
damn it. Anyway. Hey, you have any last words, Bubba?
Patience is a virtue.
More words of wisdom.
That's the second time you told me that today. So, guys, please go check out Elite Week tomorrow for the announcement. It's going to be very cool. I'm excited about it. Congrats to Kai putting all that together. And yeah, can't wait. And Chig, it's time for Cheese Chat, and that's going to be it.
Sounds good. All right. Last week, I gave you guys like a $40 a pound cheese to try. So really expensive, really gourmet. I'm going to go the exact opposite direction this week. This stuff, well, I'm looking at like online, and it contains milk. So I guess it would actually be a cheese. Its form is paste. Its state of readiness is ready to eat, and you can store it at room temperature. This is everybody's favorite cheese, Nabisco's Easy Cheese, the cheese in a can. I swear to God, I think this stuff should be its own food group. I will squirt this stuff directly into my mouth until the can is empty. It also serves a great. I know, right? It also serves a great purpose. I mentioned to somebody today that I was gonna use this as my cheese of the week, and she goes, well, make sure to mention that if you got a dog that needs pills, this works great to hide pills. So there you go. If you want to hide pills for your animals, this doubles for that. So Easy Cheese is the cheese of the week. Stay cheesy,
And it comes in
everybody.
bacon flavor.
It does.
Well, I guess if you want to feel like Chig has whizzed in your mouth, that's where you go, right?
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Shit.
wah, wah.
It's not my finest work.
I got to click that explicit button this week.
Oh my God.
It's not even my fault. It's not even my fault.
All right. Well, it's late. We started recording late. It's late.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's what we're going to blame that ending on right there.
A little loose, a little screwy.
Jesus life.
We'll, just everyone, these are the best outros ever.
If you don't cut it off, it's going to keep going, but it's going to take a bad turn pretty
I've got
soon.
so much more I could say right now, so we got to go.
All right.
All right,
We'll
bye.
see you guys next week, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Successful. Engines disengaged.